just outside the rankings and wanting what their opponent today has, a spot in the top 25. Glad to have you with us from Gerald J. Ford Stadium in Dallas, home to the SMU Mustangs. As we'll see a team looking to make it back to the CFP this year, the Baylor Bears, taking on a team that ranks in the top 5 in this conference, the SMU Mustangs. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by a couple of legends, and yes, we do use that term loosely. David Pollack from the University of Georgia and former Gator Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's get down to the field. The Bears will kick it away first. Here he comes from midway in the end zone. Stopped at the 17, and he's probably second-guessing that return. The give to the running back from the shotgun. Makes the tackle at the 32, but they were backed up inside their 20, and they pick up 15.
You know, the RPO game now in college football really puts the defense in a bind, and it forces them just to freeze a half second as they try to distinguish between the running back and the quarterback. Who's keeping the football? On that play, it was the running back, and he made him pay.
Going deep. Oh, he can't hang on to the football. A big play sitting right there for the taking, and they can't get it done early in this one. I don't know why, but it's a thing. The ACC Wheel of Destiny, you spin it, you never know how it's going to come up, and you can't afford to give away a game early in a conference like this.
And I think both of these coaching staffs, David, understand that, and they've been preaching to their team, we've got to start fast. Not just in this game. We've got to start the season fast. We've got to take advantage of this opportunity.
And I think Reese hit it right in the head, too. The Wheel of Destiny, right? It seems like it's a new team every year that's playing in the championship, and appears to be a wide-open league, so a lot of turmoil, a lot of change. I think that starting 1-0 is an important step to getting to that championship game.
The Mustangs come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to convert here. To the air, it's Hawkins. Intercepted, and the first drive ends with a pick. Taking it the other way. Touchdown, Baylor! What momentum you get when the defense comes up with a play like that.
I mean, you talk about coming out as a defense and setting the tone and letting them know it's going to be a long game. Let's do this. How about a pick 6 on the first possession? Nice job by the defense coming out and striking first in this ball game.
And they did tack on that extra point with no problem. They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. And he's going to bring this one out. Slips through the line. They get him out of bounds at the 46, and he sets him up with terrific field position on that return. Mustangs have the ball back and ready to go to work. Finding themselves down 7-0, they'd love to get a drive going here. Wants to throw on 1st down. Pressure coming. Got rid of it just in time. Just gets rid of the football. Nobody to throw it to. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, and your first job is to affect the quarterback and try to get him off his spot. They get him off his spot, he gets outside the pocket, and a nice job chasing, not quitting, getting to the quarterback, and still getting a good lick as he's throwing the football.
Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. To the air, it's Hawkins. Looking for a huge And they can't hook up. Going for the big play on second down. Now it's third down.
Really nice job by the defender knocking that one away in man coverage. And he knew coming into this one that he was going to get attacked and they were going to throw his way. So he's showing you right now. He is dialed in, locked in. Really nice job on that coverage.
On third and long, trying to have a big completion here. He's missed 3 in a row now with that last incompletion.
Yeah, just not able to connect that time with his target on the in-breaking route. Got to have a little bit better rhythm. You know these windows are going to be small over the middle of the field, and that's why you try to put some extra mustard on it, but I think that time that's what forced the incomplete.
And the ball will bounce at the 4 and find its way into the end zone for a touchback. They'll run this play from the pistol. They'll run it to the right side. Knocked down behind the line. Boy, he powered through one tackler, but there were more there to greet him.
And that play shows you really what this defense is about. It's a difficult one to attack. They're really good. One of the best in the country. They come at you from all angles. So I'm interested to watch. How do you mix up the play calling? How do you keep the defense off balance? Because they are a good one.
You know, as an offense, you just don't get that many great opportunities in games to hit these type of big-time plays. When plays like that present themselves and receivers are open, as a quarterback, you have got to make that throw.
This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on third and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Looking for a deep man. Caught at the 25. He's got the sidelines going nuts as he gets it down to the 18-yard line. The entire complexion of this possession changed on that one play. Now they've got it 1st and 10 inside the 20. Finds his big tight end. Gets it inside the 5, down to the 4, and it'll be 1st and goal. And the Bears are on the move. They'll use the running game on 1st and goal. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Bears!
This running back was not going to be denied. Nice blocking up front to create a hole for this running back, and he was able to take advantage.
And the extra point makes it 14-0. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they finish it off with the score from the 4. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. He'll bring it back looking for help. The SMU offense is headed back onto the field. They've gotten off to a sluggish start and need to put something together on this drive. Buying some time. Quarterback feeling the pressure, and down he goes at the 22.
And they get to the quarterback and get the sack. That's a big emphasis for this defense. They saw a week ago, this offense gave up 3 sacks. They need to get to him early and often and create some indecision. Nice job getting a sack early in this football game.
The handoff to Johnson. Turning it on. He'll get it across the 30-yard line. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 32 as this offense is trying to do some work.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
Faced with a 3rd and short from their own 32 to keep this drive alive. Might be calling a hot route. Back to pass, it's Hawkins. Caught over the middle, it's Moore. And he's still running after the move. They'll get it to the 48, no need to measure, it's a 1st down. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. And the Mustangs come to the line with a fresh set of downs. to the air on first down. He uncorks a bullet to the right. And he just overshot his man and threw it out of bounds, incomplete.
They just have not been able to get this guy going. They've thrown it to him over and over again here in the first quarter, and QB and him just not able to link up. The defense knew that was where this guy was going to be looking, but these two, they've got to find a way to get on the same page.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Misfired on the last play. They'll go back to the air. Catch in the middle. It's Cooper. They make the tackle at the 36, but they're in plus territory now with the 15-yard pickup.
Offenses love the explosive plays through the air, pushing the ball down the field. And look at this. Sometimes it creates some momentum, and you want to capitalize. So you go get on the ball and get ready to run some no-huddle.
The freshman called his own number and kept this drive moving.
Man, that's so frustrating. And it happens so fast. He just pulls it down. It looks like pass. He pulls it down, and he's gone. Just like that, chewing up yards. So much speed, so hard to stop.
Inside the 25, they'll snap it from the 24, first down. Wants to go up top on first down. Throws to the wideout. And he had it for a second, but it just dribbled out of his hands.
Well, I think the ball just got on the receiver so quickly. He took his time working his route, and by the time he got his head around, the ball was already there, and he just wasn't able to stab it.
They'll spread the defense out, going 5 wide on 2nd and 10. The offense changing the play. Dropping back, it's Hawkins. Got out of trouble and throws. And the completion to the sideline, a solid pickup, but not enough for the first down.
And a really nice job by the wide receiver. You run a drag route, find space. They're in zone coverage. They're not covering man-to-man. Find a little hole. Look at that QB. Y'all get on the same page. You could tell they were, and that's why they got the first down.
This is a designed run. Picks up the first down and gets down to avoid contact. The Mustangs in the hurry-up. Looking to throw on first down. Plucks it out of the air. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see which way that's going to go. A solid gain on that one, and it goes for naught as the penalty will back them up. First down here for the offense. He wants to throw it. Just too much heat that time, and they knock him down at the 31.
And this is not the start this guy envisioned in this game. He's already thrown a pick six here in the first quarter, and now he takes a sack. You got to wonder if that pick six rattled him a little bit. And if he's out here now seeing ghosts, he's got to get to the sidelines. He's got to shake the cobwebs off. You got to be able to turn the page and have a short memory, because this thing is going in the wrong direction for their signal call.
And that is not where you want to miss. You do not want to miss high over the middle. A lot of that times that turns into an interception. He doesn't get that, but he's got to lower that football and give his receiver a chance to make a play on it.
They've methodically worked the ball down the field. 11th play of the drive coming up, but this one 3rd and long. Oh, they're after him. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down. They'll send out the kicker here. And this field goal attempt will be a 48-yarder and not straight on from the left side. And the try is no good. Guys, the missed field goal and nothing changes. Still a 14-point game. First play of this drive will start from the 31-yard line. The give from the gun. Oh, he was in the backfield immediately. A 3-yard loss. Timeout called here by the defense. It's their first of the half. to start this drive. Here comes 2nd and 13. White wants to throw it. He lets it fly. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers.
And the offense clearly saying, we want to take those deep shots. We want to be aggressive. And I think that's a good strategy because it makes the defense really honor what you're going to do. And just missed a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if this offense finds a way to come back to some of those deep balls.
Ball's at the 27. This offense facing a 3rd and long. He's looking downfield to throw. He'll get rid of it. It's incomplete. Good job by the defense sticking with its coverage.
Every defense in the country talks about getting offenses in predictable 3rd and long situations where I can bring on more speedsters and I know the pass is coming so I can have more success.
Coverage team gets the job done, and they'll mark him down at the 38-yard line. Opening snap of this drive comes from the 38-yard line. Making side adjustments here. They're going to throw it to start the drive. Forced out of the pocket. Bought a little time, lets it go. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball.
Well, you got to love that if you're on defense because you were able to affect the quarterback with pressure, and you only rushed 3 guys. Well done.
So now it's 2nd and long. Looking to throw, it's Hawkins. They'll throw it to the back on the screen. And it's pretty obvious there was a big hole in that screen, and the defense ran right through it. As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. Here comes the option. He'll pitch it. Came through like a shot and knocked him down for a loss of 5. That's the end of the period. Baylor is on top. They came out and jumped on them early in the first. Let's take a break and look at the first quarter stats. And the Mustangs will try to pin them back with the punt. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. That nifty return sets up the offense and negates some of the yardage on the punt. Here comes the Baylor offense back onto the field. They've already put a couple of scores up, and they look to add to it on this drive. They'll start this drive going to the air. Oh, he's going to try to get it all here. Picked off inside the 20, and they snuff out the threat. He goes down after the short return, but what a play to get the football back. And the offense out on the field to go back to work. He might want another play. Looking to throw on first down. Grabbed in the middle, it's Johnson. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. The Mustangs want to crank the tempo. Looking to pass, it's Hawkins. Trying to burn this defensive back. He's got it down the left. Off and running. The 10. And he slipped through the crowd, and he'll house it. Touchdown, SMU.
Man, how hard is is it to defend when you have a weapon like this at running back that can play wide receiver? You can design ways to get the football in his hand. Palmer, once you get in his hands, he'll do the rest.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and oftentimes those are easier throws for quarterbacks. And these running backs, they're just naturally so good when they have the football out in space. Their vision, their creativity, their ability to make people miss. And this guy showed you right there, a difficult guy to stop now if you're this defense moving forward.
Baylor has it back, and here comes the Bear offense. Well, the good news about this drive, Jesse, it can't go worse than last time through a pick on the first play.
No, it certainly can't. I think one good way, David, to help your quarterback turn the page is just find him an easy completion here and let him get back into a rhythm.
Yeah, or find him an easy handoff. Just hand the football off, maybe get the ground game going, maybe jumpstart this offense a little bit.
Looking to fire. Time to take a shot. Dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch.
I know one of the things this defense really prides themselves on is being physical, and early in this game, putting a big hit on a guy that's already had a couple catches in this game, that's a good omen for the defense.
Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. Looking to buy time. Intercepted. A first-half turnover can swing momentum. No real chance on the return, but they've got it at the 34.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
Looking to throw, it's Hawkins. The throw. He misses his man. The accuracy just not what it needed to be on that play.
Man, the quarterback threw that ball hard, too. And I know sometimes when you're throwing an in-breaking route, you want to get it to your receiver quickly. But when you try to strain and throw it harder, oftentimes your accuracy is what suffers. And you saw it there on the incompletion.
They're dealing with a 2nd and long. To the tight end. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first.
Well, a nice completion there, finding the tight end. And what's so beautiful about that is while they didn't get the first, they were able to pick up enough yards now to make the third down manageable, really putting this offense in a good position.
Pulls it in. It's Harden. He's going to come up a couple of yards short of the first down. And the Mustangs will go for it on 4th down. Quarterback may change this route. On 4th down, looking to pass. Big man has it. It's a first down and more. They make the tackle, but he's got a fresh set of downs, and it's 1st and goal from the 7. They were easily within field goal range there, but they don't feel like you can win this game 3 points at a time.
No, pass. I mean, you got to be aggressive. You got to get touchdowns, man. You've seen the emphasis. Defenses are willing to give up yards now to make you kick field goals. I like this offense being aggressive. Forget the 3s. We need 6s.
You know, I really like this QB running the football because I know he's got a lot of speed, but he's not the biggest guy in the world. So he's not going to be able to break a lot of tackles. You really got to do a good job of trying to scheme ways to get him out in more space.
Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. They'd love to make this short field pay off with a touchdown instead of settling for 3, but it is 3rd and goal. They'll run it. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Mustangs.
3rd and goal, you're going to turn around and just give it to this guy who just has a nose for the end zone. He's able to find the crease and pay it off for his offense.
And he added the extra point. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Wilson will throw. Dances away. And as he throws, can't make the connection. The pressure there caused the missed timing.
Man, if I'm the offensive line, I got to do a better job initially protecting my quarterback. And then once he scrambles out to that pocket, he starts to go to the left, I got to stick with the play because then he gets whacked at the end of the play. And instead of helping my quarterback up, I got to make sure I protect him a lot better moving forward.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. Running back searching for a hole. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
Defense is about firing off, hitting the offensive guys, and staying in your gaps. Everybody knowing where they're supposed to be. You could tell the defense, everyone was right where they're supposed to be, nowhere to run.
They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Using his feet to buy time. Slings it downfield. Complete downfield. They get him stopped and out of bounds at the 45-yard line, and the big play has this offense ready to mount a threat. The Bears come to the line with a new set of downs. Looking downfield on 1st down. Fires on the move. Makes the grab along the sidelines, and they get enough for the 1st down. This offense lines up feeling awfully good after that big play. They'll go back to the ground. He works his way inside the 30 down to the 29 and picks up a 1st down.
1st down, you know you always want to establish the running game. How about this offense? Nothing fancy. Run the football, be physical, get a big game.
They'll send the back in motion. Wilson to pass. That, friends, is a busted play. Incomplete.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on 1st down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him, and it just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy was not open, so that didn't have that chance to be complete.
Makes the grab. And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain. Quick timeout by the defense here, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. They've moved it to the 25, but now facing a 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Moves around to clear up the vision. He breaks into the open. He gets it inside the 20 and out of bounds at the 17.
Really nice awareness that time by the quarterback in a 3rd down situation, knowing exactly where the 1st down marker was. It wasn't there open to throw the football. He was very smart. He got out, he took off running, knew exactly where he had to get to keep his offense on the field.
Fires on the move. It's incomplete, and that also might be what is called a learning experience, and one this freshman got away with. Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. After the incompletion, back to the passing game. Under fire. And the Heat will get home, and the quarterback goes down at the 17.
And that is priority #1 for defenses. Get to the quarterback. Affect him. Get hits on him. They do it right here. Get their 1st sack of the game. Last game, by the way, last time out, they had 5. Let's see what this defense can continue to do.
Wilson will throw. He'll be down at the 4-yard line after that terrific run.
Really nice job and poise by the quarterback there, right? Because it's 3rd down. You just got sacked the play prior, but you do a nice job in the pocket. You get through your progression. It's not open. You take off and run. Pick up the 1st down. Fresh set of downs there. Really good job by the QB showing off his poise.
He was thinking touchdown on the scramble, but they're able to stop him short of the end zone.
And I feel like this defense is starting to get in a rhythm and starting to feel it, right? You've seen him take off, have some success, and you know if nothing's open, he wants to run. Defense kind of locked in, didn't give up a big one.
And he's going to go down at the 1.
Love the job by the defense there. They weren't fooled. Second and short. They thought pass was a possibility. They got to the QB. Let's see if they can do it again here on third.
They got nothing and liked it, or probably didn't like it on the last play. Now it's third and goal from the 1. From the gun, wants to pass. Big fella moving. And he's going to score. Touchdown, Baylor!
And the offense breaks the tie, takes the lead, gains some momentum. How big is this, Palmer, now going into the half with the lead, with the momentum?
Well, they break the tie, but they also break their confidence a little bit now. The opponent now has to go into the locker room probably down, and they're wondering, what adjustments do we have to make? What do we have to fix? Because we've got our work cut out for us in this game.
And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. This late in the half, here's the question. How aggressive will the play calling be? Back to throw, it's Hawkins. Unloads to the wideout. Got his man to the left. They get him out of bounds. Couple of yards short of midfield. They'll mark it at the 48, and this offense is rolling. Wants to adjust the pattern. Wants to throw on first down. He's going for it all. Picked off, and they ruin an early drive with the turnover. And the defender is tackled, and that's how we'll run out the first half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin and our halftime update. Just about set to get this second half underway. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Here comes the Baylor offense back onto the field. They start this third quarter with the lead, but they might want to think about shoring up that protection.
Yeah, the good news is you're leading on the scoreboard. The bad news is your quarterback doesn't feel like it because you can't protect him. So, David, adjustments in pass protection, that has to be something they were talking about here at halftime.
100%. Just you can't get him hit that much. He's still doing a good job delivering the football, but if you keep hitting the quarterback enough, man, they'll start to see ghosts, they'll panic, and they'll make some of those mistakes.
Wilson to pass. Hauls it in. Able to work it to the 39-yard line, and that'll be a first down. New set of downs after the completion. To the air on first down. The sure hands, it's Brown. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
Wow, the quarterback knew he had to get that one to his receiver quickly on the in route. Did you see the velocity on that throw?
Wants to throw it. Got his man in the middle. Knocked down at the 29-yard line. Picked up 15 yards on the play, and he's got a first down.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This offense had so much success in that first half, so in the third quarter, they come out, and the quarterback looks like he's still dealing. This has been a really nice drive. That was a really nice throw. Just keep doing what you're doing if you're on offense.
Wants to go up top on first down. He makes the grab. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
When receivers are running slant routes against man coverage, sometimes you get open using speed, but sometimes it's pure physicality. This receiver does a great job using his hands, and then he's able to fight his way to the inside. At the end of the day, he just wanted that football more.
It's complete. The ball is down at the 14 after that grab.
Again, this is a running back that can hurt you running it between the tackles, and he's dangerous out in space. They like to throw it to him out on the perimeter as he picks up a couple of yards there.
Going to work in the red zone, they can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. They'll give it to the back. He's dragged down at the 12 as they try to cash in on this red zone opportunity.
The big fella in the middle, man. Those defensive tackles, they go such a long way in deciding and really stopping the other team's run game. Just forcing contact with those guards and those centers, owning the line of scrimmage, and getting running backs on the ground.
They make the stop at the 5-yard line, but they've got it first and goal. And the Bears didn't start this drive with great field position, but they have moved methodically down the field. A first down run in the red zone. And how about that play by that giant, that mountain of a man on the defensive front? Can the D deny them on second and goal? The run up the middle, looking for the score. And how about the work up front by that big defensive line?
Well, this running thing doesn't seem to be working. Looks like they're going to have to throw it, but as we know, David, these windows down here, man, they are tight.
Super tight. I think you still got the QB that you can move. You can change the launch point. Try to do something to get guys moving one way, take advantage going the other direction.
Third and goal, and they'll try to pass it in. Touchdown, Bears! Quick strike through the air for the score.
One of the areas they really focused on with this receiver in the offseason was we need you to make more plays for us in the end zone. When we're taking shots, we need you to be able to step up and make tough catches. And David, what a grab right there.
And I think a lot of that has to do with trusting your guy, knowing where he's going to be, knowing when he's going to sit down, when he's not. So being on the same page, and then having a guy that can go get it. Just when the ball is near him, he's going to make the play, just like he did right there for 6 points.
Fielded in the end zone, it's Johnson. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. The Mustangs have the ball back and ready to go to work. This is when the pressure can ramp up a little bit on an offense, David, when they start feeling the heat to answer a score.
And I think being down 14, you can kind of feel that way. But, dude, if you put a good drive together, this is a 7-point game, so Palmer, no need to panic.
Going to take a shot. And that will be incomplete. Man, that would have been a big hitter if they could have done it, but second down coming.
Well, you knew you were going to see it in this game, throwing the go route to one of the fastest players in all of college football. This receiver strikes fear in the heart of every defense because he's got even...
Going for the big play. Pulls it in on the left. Here he goes. Touchdown, SMU. And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing.
One of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch, they've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. And if this quarterback gets through his progression, David, gets you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running. I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy, the connection between quarterback, wide receiver. You can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Baylor has it back, and here comes the Bear offense. That lead has been sliced to 7, and now they'll try to put something together here. Wilson will throw. Now adjusting. From the comfort of the pocket, he fires it to the right. And that tackle almost certainly saved a touchdown after he ripped off a huge gain.
And that is a big-time play for the offense. The defense knew coming into this game they had to keep this guy bottled up and keep him in the pocket. That didn't happen there. He was able to buy time, extend the play. Receivers are in scramble drill mode. He finds a guy, he's accurate, off schedule, and the defense now has to do a much better job keeping this guy contained, or they are going to get lit up just like that.
And this is the hard part about being on defense and choosing whether to be conservative or bring the blitz. They bring the blitz, he sees it, and that's what he does really well. Sees it and immediately makes a decision, gets to some green grass, and gets a positive gain for this offense.
Second down, he'll throw it. On the run, still looking. Trying to escape and get it himself. They bring him down, but not before he gets just enough to move the chains.
It's so nice to be an offense on second down in short yardage situations. Why? I can take shots. If I want to, I can just act like I'm going to run and try to get the first down, take a deep shot down the field. I can run the football. The whole playbook is open to my disposal.
Trying to make magic on the scramble. Getting work done on the ground. He's pulled down at the 14-yard line. Operating in the red zone here on second down. Wants to go up top. Intercepted to stop the threat. They didn't give him much of a chance to make that play even bigger, but the turnover has him set up at the 16.
And this ball looks like it just got away from the quarterback. I think he made the right decision. He was going to the receiver that seemed open, but just not very accurate on the throw, and that leads to the interception.
A lot of work to do as this drive will start from the 16-yard line. Fires to the wideout. Just a little bit too much juice on that one as the freshman was taking a shot.
Well, they're trying to attack the middle of the field. That time the ball a little too high for his wide receiver, and it falls incomplete.
What will they dial up on second, and a long way to go? Quarterback making checks. Looking downfield, it's Hawkins. Right on the money. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short game there.
I like the decision by the quarterback here. Just get the ball out of your hands, get it to your playmaker. A lot of times he'll dance and make even bigger plays than he did here, but it was still a positive game.
Passing game very effective on second down. What about here on third? From the gun, wants to pass. And that third down pass left a vapor trail, but it's incomplete.
Well, you can see the frustration on this guy's face. He's one of the best receivers in college football, and they knew coming into this game that he had to get touches, but you can't say enough about how good this defense has been defending him. They've always had an answer, whether it's single coverage, double coverage, man or zone. They have not let him go off, and that's a big reason why they're winning this game.
They'll crank up this drive from the 30-yard line. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. With the catch, it's Eakin. Hey, what about that move to pick up a couple of extra yards? He's down at the 38. Big catches, big plays, tons of yards through three quarters for these two guys. It'll be second down as we open the final stanza. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. Didn't get much done on that run. He'll fight his way out and maybe pick up a yard.
And after taking a loss on that last run, a little bit of pressure right now for this offense on their own side of the field. They've got the lead here in the fourth quarter, but this is a critical third down that they have to convert. They don't want to give the ball.
There he goes. And they got the defense on that one, and they get it to the 29-yard line.
Well, how about the offense setting that play up? We've seen earlier in the game a couple shorter throws. They're just trying to suck those safeties closer to the line of scrimmage, anticipating that they would get an opportunity to take a shot. They called the perfect play at the perfect time right there.
Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be second down.
And the QB leaves the pocket, and he scrambles out, and he goes to his right. And I love how he keeps his eyes down the field, trying to make a play, trying to throw the football, but the relentless chase, I love it. Getting to the quarterback. He throws an inaccurate pass because he gets whacked as he throws the football. Nice job chasing by the defense.
Wilson to pass. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. Third down coming.
You know, it's difficult for QBs sometimes when you're throwing to your running backs because they're not receivers. You really got to be perfect with the ball placement. You got to make that a catchable throw. A little bit too tough for the RB on that one.
The sweet feet buy a little time. Pass rush coming after the quarterback, and they get him at the 32.
That's the problem when you go empty, right? As a quarterback, you know you might get blitzed, and if you do, you better know where your hot throw is. If you don't, you're getting sacked. That time the linebacker got to him.
And nobody able to field that punt as it rolls out of bounds. The SMU offense is headed back onto the field. Things had not gone the way they had planned, but maybe an opportunity to salvage this bumpy ride so far and avoid the upset. They needed to find enough space and get it moving forward, and they're up to the 22.
The offense has a little bit of success on the ground, and they're up. Look at them. They're ready to go again, back on the line of scrimmage, ready to run another play.
That's a backbreaker if you're the offensive coordinator because on first down, you ran the ball, had a really nice gain. Short yardage situation, you just get completely blown up, and now you're having to probably dial up a throw on third down. You need more consistency from the guys up front.
They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a first down.
All right, nothing flashy there. He just did what it took to get the first down.
Quarterback adjusting the pattern. The Mustangs have it with a 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. Unleashes one. And that pass incomplete. The defense got a hand on it.
I don't know about the decision that time by the quarterback. He may have been expecting man coverage, but that time the defense was in zone, and they did a really nice job closing the window. The intended target was not open, and that's why that one fell incomplete.
Backed up now, here's 2nd and long. Looking to throw, it's Hawkins. Got a man, it's Knight.
That quarterback has a hose. That dude could throw it through a car wash and not get it wet. Great job of putting that ball on the line to his wide receiver.
They want to run this quarterback. Love to see these third down conversions on offense, and they're out to their own 39-yard line. Looking to throw on 1st down. There's the pressure. That's caught. It's Knight. When a defense is in zone coverage, Jesse, they want to react. How do you react to a howitzer coming out like that one?
Not much you can do because this guy's got a cannon. You saw all the eyeballs on defense on that play. They were waiting and anticipating that throw, but when you've got an arm like that, it's going to be tough to stop that throw.
And the Mustangs racing to the line in the hurry-up.
I'll tell you, this quarterback has just been in a great rhythm all game long. With that last completion, he's now over 300 yards passing.
Looking to throw on 1st down. Just a little bit too much juice on that one as the freshman was taking a shot.
And there's an example of what happens when the quarterback doesn't have a chance to set his feet. The pressure just forced him to have to work off schedule a little bit. And I think because of that, wasn't able to be as accurate as he wanted to be.
They go to the ground. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
And there was no space, nowhere to go. That play went absolutely nowhere.
Sometimes you just need a dude to show up and make a play, and he did.
Sometimes you just need to block that dude, and they didn't.
On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Fires to the middle. And he can't grab the bullet pass on 3rd down.
And man, did the defense just miss an opportunity that they could have turned the lights out with the lead, get the football back here. Missed opportunity. Maybe this offense now can take advantage and swing some momentum in this football game.
Referee signals timeout. It's the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. It's a one-score game late, and they've got to go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. Quarterback moving. Incomplete on drive alive.
And that's such a good job by this defense. This offense is trying to find a spark, trying to get back in this football game. They're trying to be aggressive. The defense answers, and now you put your offense in a beautiful position to go out, execute a really good drive, and put a little distance between the other squad.
And I think if you're the head coach, defensively now, obviously, you've got 3 timeouts in your back pocket. You're trailing at this point, and the offense is going to be running the football, trying to bleed the clock. They're going to take as much time off the game clock as they can before snapping it. You've got to start thinking about using some of those timeouts.
Big 3rd down for this defense. Listen, you've got to get the ball back. You know what they're doing. They're trying to run the football, but we need the clock to be on our side so our offense has some time. Got to make a stand right here on 3rd down.
Wilson will throw. And a missed opportunity on 3rd down as the defense knocks it free, and 4th down is coming up. The Bears will line up to punt it away. We've reached the 2-minute timeout, and time is of the essence for this offense to get things done. Of them as they open this possession from their own 20. Sends it back in motion. Looking downfield on 1st down. Buys a little extra time. Grabs behind the line. It's Harden. Snowed under by the defense. Everybody has to be set. They have to get it off. Quarterback making adjustments. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. Throws to the wideout. Soft spot in the middle. Really nice pickup there as they have it out to the 44 with the 1st down. Clock stops momentarily for the 1st down. They'll hurry to the line. Wants to throw on 1st down. A deep throw as the clock winds down. Brings it down on the right side. The Mustangs come to the line in the hurry-up.
And that's another 1st down.
Leaves it with the back. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
And if you listen carefully, you can start to hear some of the boo birds coming out from this home crowd. They know their offense needs points, and this late in the game, they're watching them run the ball to no avail.
And the Mustangs have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Grabbed in the backfield. It's Johnson. He's really close to that 1st down marker, but they stop him just a bit short. The offense gets a quick timeout. At this point, every second is precious. The Mustangs come to the ball trying to pick up this 3rd and short. Timeout is called, and it's the defense wanting to make sure that everyone's on the same page for this big down. Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down. A designed run for the quarterback. Defense falls on the ball. Going to be a turnover. How about this defense slamming the door shut with a fumble recovery, and the offense should be able to run out the clock from here. Good news, I guess. A lot of room to work with as they start this drive from their own 15. They'll leave it with him. We'll give him a couple on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. They'll be perfectly content to go right back to the ground here on 2nd and 8. They're testing the right side here. Stopped at about the 25-yard line, but it'll be a 1st down.
You love to see this on offense. Early in drives, getting that kind of yardage keeps you ahead of the chains.
To the ground. He's got it again. Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7. Timeout called by the defense, and the clock is stopped with 18 seconds left. After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. The give. Good, solid run on that one as he gets it up to the 33-yard line. And the Bears are at the line trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. Muscling ahead on 3rd and short. They will stop him short, and the defense trying to keep him alive. Guys, this is a story we see every single year in college football. Ranked teams losing to unranked opponents. Whatever the reasons, it adds to the flavor of a season.
It's so good because we all love the upsets, and then if you're the team that got that ranked win, Jesse, you start to build your resume, start to build some momentum. So this squad got a good win today.
They sure did. They put the rest of college football on alert with that huge win. And for the team losing, they've now got to be able to turn the page. They got to go back, do some soul searching, because they're a much better team than what they showed today.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.